Like, I had a person contacted me who wanted me to. It was a role play thing, so he wanted me to. Even saying it sounds weird. He wanted me to break into his house, and then dominate, like just rape him.
Yeah.
I said, I mean, I can do it, but I'm not gonna enjoy it. That's just strange. Like, no part of that is intimate or sexy. Like, I can do it, like I've said, but those kind of requests, me and those people never really meet.
Yeah.
Because I think they can sense that it's not something that I'm eager to do.
Mhm.
I may be willing to do it, but I'm not interested like that. It's like I had a client who said to me, I want somebody who's not interested. What is the word he used? I want somebody that likes to be spanked and that kind of stuff. And I said, well, I don't like it, but I can do it if you're paying me. Like, he said, oh no, it's fine. I want someone that really enjoys it. Because in that, I could lie there and just be like, ow, ow. You know what I'm saying? But someone will be really enjoying it. Someone else will be really enjoying it. So, yeah. Like, because I'm not going to fake it. If I'm not attracted to you and I don't know you or like you, I'm not going to act like I'm having the best time in my life. As long as you feel it and it's okay, then, we're good. But, yeah, no, I wouldn't say that I act or perform. If it was a situation where someone is topping me and it's just sex throughout, like, I will be myself. I'm not going to pretend that it's the best I've ever had. Like, I will just use the time wisely. And then when it's done, we leave.
For me, I don't really see myself as. Well, I know I'm a black man, but I don't see myself that way. I just see myself as a man. So, I mean, it's up to what the client sees, really. And if I tick the boxes, then that's great.
Yeah.
So, I don't really. I never really thought of it on that sense, like what they would see me as, but I think for the fact that I'm in the southeast of England and cover the southwest areas as well as a black man, because there's really no one else.
I think mainly because Manchester is such a multicultural place that someone who looks like me is not overly exotic. It's not too much of a surprise anymore. Maybe it would have been 15, 20 years ago, but not these days. And also, like I said to you, when you go to these websites, there are so many there's so many guys out there, white, Asian, black, mixed race, whatever that. Me putting myself over there, I wouldn't stand out for being black.
If anyone ever says I don't normally do black guys, or I really love black guys, I run a mile. Like back when I first started and I could pick and choose my clients, yeah, I'd run a mile if they said anything like that. I wanted to meet interesting people. I was new in London, and a lot of the people that I met back in those times, in some way became friends, at least for a while. But in terms of racial identity, I don't know, it's not really something that I ever really thought about that much until a couple of years ago, when I just went through a kind of general sort of black phase that I think I think but I can't be alone in that, surely. Just kind of realizing that that I'm a black person and all that entails. Obviously, I know what I look like in the mirror, but I was always very sort of sure of myself, thinking, oh yeah, I'm gonna write a novel. I'm not gonna go to university. No one can teach me how to. I know how to write already. I just thought that life would be so easy, and being able to do things in life would be easy. And then, kind of got to a point a couple of years ago, around about the time that 12 Years a Slave came out. Although that wasn't totally the reason. That I kind of realized that it is a very, very difficult thing to be a black person, and that people treat you a certain way because you're a black person. And it just didn't occur to me before that I'd have to peel away a lot of layers before people saw me for who I am and what I, as an individual, regardless of the colour of my skin or my sexual orientation, what I can offer. And that was a really depressing moment when I kind of realised that I'd pretty much been stereotyped and treated like people's general conception of a black person is for most of my life. And I suppose that did affect my sexual relationships.
You can see it in line of questions, like how big is your dick? They see a picture of a black man, and that's the first, unfortunately, in the culture we live in, because of most men are educated by porn. They think that's and I just say, like I always say, 15 inches, like all black men are 15 inches, as you well know. So, that's just, and then I try to explain about Tantra and about, it's much more than that.
I've had bad experiences with that as well. Like, I've had people see my picture. I don't do any nudes. So people just see my face and they call me and they're like, oh, I want to meet up, blah, blah, blah. How big is your dick? And when I tell them, sometimes because they see black and they expect something like my arm, and then I tell them, like, I've had people just hang up the phone on me. And it's like, okay, let me go back to bed then. Serious, yeah, serious. Serious. People have a certain expectation when they see me.
Yeah.
And obviously not everybody can get what they're looking for. So I'm just very open from the beginning with what it is I'm going to do, what I'm able to do, and any kind of specifics about me. But what's I don't understand what acting black means.
Of course, I've had things. I've had men say things like, "Oh, I've always wanted to be fucked by a big black cock," but like cliche stuff. Nothing really beyond that.
Overtly horrible.
No.
Thing. In terms of like emotional boundaries, would that have been something that you would have been comfortable doing? That kind of racial performance within?
I don't know. I don't know, because I've not even been slightly confronted with the idea. So until you said that now, I'd not even contemplated that. If I try to think of it, just because I'm so bad at acting, I'd give it a go. I'd give it a go, yeah. I think it'd be interesting, I think.
I could see you giggling.
I'm so mature that I probably would. Yeah, I was at the gym and some guy took his shorts off and he was right next to me and his dick just fell out of his pants and I just started laughing.
I mean, it depends on the context, because actually I'm just remembering there was this one guy who I've been seeing up until recently, but he's now become a friend. I'd been seeing him for a couple of years, and he used to sort of invite me around and spank me, and it would kind of be like a sort of school teacher pupil kind of thing, and he'd just be like, yeah, so are you ashamed of all the other boys in the class watching, even though there's obviously no one there? I'd just be like, yes, sir. Yeah, I'm going to punish your black ass. Like, how does it feel to get your ass beaten by your white master? And sometimes he'd like call me a nigger and stuff, and like I just kind of run with it. And he'd do it in a certain voice, and then when we stopped, he'd change to his normal voice, which is like much higher and like different tone, and it was just kind of like, okay, we can establish that that's just role play, and that's not necessarily who you are, so I can indulge you. But at the same time, I was kind of like, call me a nigger again, motherfucker.
I've never been asked to be submissive in any sense. It's always been approached as the dominant one.
Aggressive.
Yeah, or telling them what to do. But it's difficult in a sense when they approach me and ask me what I like, because I don't feel like I'm in it for my pleasure. I mean, part of it's my pleasure, but the other part is majority for them. I try to be as honest as possible with clients, but I don't want to tell them like, oh yeah, sometimes I like to bend over and just take it, because that would just ruin the whole image that they have mindset for before booking you. So yeah, you have to be really careful with what you say with people. I mean, if you have a good judgment of character and you know what they want once they've contacted you, then you can kind of just work on that. Yeah, just throw gasoline on the fire.
I'd imagine that obviously most of your clients are white. Do you get like any Raceplay kind of jobs or anything like that?
No, never. No. But I think if it ever did happen, I would be very open to it. Something on that nature is just a bit ignorant, and for someone to be that ignorant should just get charged the overnight rate for an hour, to be fair.